Hello fellow YouTubers, I'm trying to do something different this time. I know you guys have been seeing some of my videos with me not being in the video lately. I've been trying to use the videos that I shot on my trip to Vancouver. Although I did have some of my videos with me in my early videos, but this time I'm trying something different. So I have a guest on my channel today, and that is my sister, Devanshi. And what you have is a couple of questions I have for her. And you guys see I don't have a placard, I just have a piece of paper because I'm a big time sustainability guy. So what you'll hear today is questions around self-criticism and self-coaching, and how do we move from self-criticism to self-coaching, right? So this time it's not me who's the coach for you, it's my sister. So we'll throw in those questions to her, all right? So let's move on. So how about we start with our introduction? So Devanshi, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I know it's an absolute pleasure for you to have me here. And I'm the best person in the world, and I know I'm the queen. So thank you for having me here, and I know this entire podcast is going to be amazing. So hi guys, my name is Devanshi, and I am a project manager, also coming background from a soft skills and personality development trainer. I have been training many people in my life. It can be my family, friends, and my students as well. Hopefully this is going to be amazing for you, and keep what resonates to you and discard what doesn't, but let's just spread positivity and let's just learn something out of it.
All right guys, I'll throw in the introduction at the bottom of the video so you guys can know more about us, but let's move on with our first question. So Devanshi, can you describe your aha moment when you realized your self-talk was more critical than helpful?
I believe in my life, it was not more of an aha. It was more like moment for me when I realized it. So a few weeks back, I was just talking to my therapist, and we were just talking about the life, some scenarios that has happened. And I was just talking about a few things that I want to achieve in my life, or a few things that have happened. And I ended up talking with like a little laughter, even if the things were not, they were serious things that would have been taken not very positively in my life, but I was still laughing at it. I believe it started as a form of self-acceptance in terms of jokes, because maybe that was my way of coping up with them. I didn't realize that over the time, these kind of jokes and that kept me okay for a temporary moment or temporary period of time, but it became a part of me. And the therapist said that, okay, I do see that you keep laughing at all these things. I do see that you are, even if the things that should be very serious, you just smile at it. So now just imagine all the self-criticism and everything that you're saying about you, you're not feeling bad because it is coming from within. Because we cannot be hard on ourselves. But imagine now there's a set of people, maybe your relatives, friends, or maybe unknown people or people you hate. Now they are saying the exact same thing to you. They're laughing, they're smirking, and they're saying the exact same to you. How would you feel? And it's like, of course I will not feel good about it. They're like, then why are you doing this yourself? Well, isn't that something like criticizing you should be other people's job? If you are also criticizing yourself, then what's the point of life? There should be somebody to love you. And I think that's the kind of kindness and love everybody wants in their life. So that's when I realized that, okay, self-criticism is going way too much and should be toned down a little.
Wow, that's a great start. I love that answer. So we'll move on to the second question. What did constant self-criticism actually cost you in your work, relationship, or sense of self?
So self-criticism, I believe, was more of a bottleneck for me in order to grow in my life. It can be my relationships, my work, or as a matter of fact, my life, actually. It wasn't an easy path, to be very honest. I believed I kept criticizing myself to a level that I was not able to live in the moment. Even while I was there, I would constantly think of the potential future losses or potential future audits that I would do, that, okay, things are going fine, but what if this happened? So I believe that I lost the sense of living in the present moment, loving myself, or even celebrating the small wins. So even if there was a small win in my life, at that very moment, I would not be like, yay, this happened. Rather like, oh, okay, this happened, that's good, nothing bad happened. Now, what if something like this happened? So for me, the baseline was not something like, yay, that good has happened. Rather, my baseline was, okay, nothing bad happened, so let's go this way. So
I agree. The celebrating these small wins. It's very important.
it did cost me to live in the present. I would have been a constant anxiety, or maybe that a little fear of life, that what if something bad happens in the future, like an audit, and lost the sense of living in the present.
All right, that's great. So, how would you define self-coaching in one sentence, and how is it different from your inner critic?
So think of self-coaching as a destination and criticism as the noise around you. So self motivation, or it can be something turning yourself from a judge, like you're constantly judging yourself, and turning yourself into a strategist. So criticism will always be like, why? Oh my God, this happened, that happened, making you feel so bad about yourself. And if you're an overthinker like me, it is going to be like cascading in terms of like a flow chart, and there'll be like multiple bubbles bursting into your head and turning you into somebody who is so negative and would not be able to do something. So criticism is more about what happened, but I would say self-judgment and self-motivation would be more like, okay, what I can do, the strategy in order to get yourself out of it. If criticism happened, fine, but what am I doing about it? So it's more of a shift from being a judge to a strategist to making sure that is somebody uplifting you.
Wow, she threw some good project management jargon there, but I got some. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna need my card here. What's one small practice or habit that first helped you interpret the loop of self-criticism?
My first step that I have at least started following, I'm not saying I'm a pro in that, but I've started to analyze like two buckets. Is it a productive thing that I can work on myself, or is it just a noise that is just pulling myself down? So yes, if I think about something, if it is coming with a solution, I would rather focus on that. Yes, I would make myself feel bad a little that okay, this has happened, or maybe something bad might have happened. I would give myself time to process that as well. But my idea has always been to have two buckets. Is it productive or is it noise? Most of the time it is noise. Trust me, 70% of all your thoughts are related to your past anxieties, past experiences, and you tend to think that this might also go in the same way. Coming from, I believe people mostly from our generation have gone through so many things in our lives already. We say, and we have this tendency to always like something bad is going to happen. Even if we watch Instagram or if we go on any social media platform, now most of the popular memes or most of the popular content is self-jeopardizing, that oh, this happened with my life, and people are dancing with some popular comedy music at behind, because I think that's their coping mechanism. So I believe yes, if I have to analyze myself, two buckets, put in, if it is a noise, just throw it there and then, because trust me, there are people, it's their job to criticize you. As I said, love yourself, embrace yourself, and work on that bucket which you can actually work on. So
that's the most perfect response I could have expected for that question. Okay, what are one or two go-to self-coaching questions you ask yourself when you feel stuck or defeated?
I believe the first question it's not a question actually, it's a scenario based thing that I always think about. So if let's say something happens to me, XYZ, you can analyze based on your own experiences, and you feel that I'm stuck, I don't know, I don't want to get out of my bed, I don't feel like talking to anybody, I want to switch off my cell phone, I don't want to work. It can happen in your work. Oh my God, this particular solution is not working as per my expectation or as per my manager's expectation. Life is a wreck. That's how things start. So if it happened to me, I would just curl up in my blanket and I just want to have my hot coffee or something, and I would not want to work. The question I think about at that point of time is, if instead of me, it were my family member, my friends, or as a matter of my team members, and one of them are feeling like, let's say, demotivated, will I ask them to curl up in the bed and have that hot cocoa, or will I ask them to get out of your bed, pull yourself, get ready, and let's have something to get you back on your feet? Are you making them celebrate the small wins? And I think that's one thing that is missing in our lives. We tend to make ourselves feel so bad, even if for the smallest thing or the slightest what I would say slightest sadness come into our life, we celebrate that sadness so much that we want to sit in our bed, we want to put some sad music around, and we just want to think how miserable our life is. But are we also celebrating the small wins in the same way? If let's say I had a target to achieve, I want to do 5 days gym together, and if I did that, will I be like, oh yes, I did that? No, we don't. We're like, okay, that's fine. So I believe we're not making ourselves that much happy for wins than how bad we make ourselves for the similar sort of sadness in our life. I always feel that if something like this happens, for once just think that you're just the body, take your soul out of your body, right? Like this is your soul, that's you, and look like from a third perspective that would you let yourself down the same way. I'm not much of a reader. I don't read, the best. I cannot. But there was once I read this book in which it was written, and I believe you'll resonate from that. Let's say if I'm walking and I just fall down, I physically fall down, I'm in a market and I'm outside. Will I just sit there and keep crying for 2 to 3 days and won't get up? It's raining outside, people are watching me, judging me, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get up. I just fell down, I don't want to get up. No, we immediately stand up, at least for that moment, and we go back home. Then you can feel bad about it, but at least in that moment you stand up. So if you're emotionally gone, and if you're emotionally, let's say you've fallen down emotionally, why are we taking so long to get up? And I think that hit me really hard. So these are two questions. Any family member, team members, would you let them do that? No. If you are not physically, you're not letting yourself suffer like that and outside, how are you letting yourself suffer so much emotionally? So get up.
That's an amazing response. Guys, small wins, I keep hearing that. So start celebrating, okay? Okay, so how do you coach yourself through a recent setback without falling into self-judgment?
I think self-judgment also arises when you have a lot of time to yourself. Make yourself busy. As I said, you keep telling me this entire podcast is about celebrating the small wins. I'm saying that because it's my personal experience. If something good happens, don't just sit there so that you have some time to audit yourself and get yourself into the loop of depression. Don't let that happen. Something good happen, just go outside and have your favorite coffee. Get your favorite muffin. Treat yourself, because food also has the exact same reaction to your body. You can have your favorite food and you can feel exactly same happiness in your life, right? At the same time, if something happens, share it with your friends. Small wins, small muffin. Big wins, take yourself out on a trip. Have a good celebration. Take yourself out on a solo dinner or a solo date with yourself, and it helps. So one thing you can do is, for the initial part, if you think your thoughts, your mind is not allowing you to love yourself and be kind to yourself when you're all alone, you're an overthinker, keep yourself busy. Out of sight and out of mind. And when I'm saying keep yourself busy, choose something healthy. When I say healthy, I don't go to the gym. For me, healthy is healthy mindset. I have my healthy mindset. I would go outside, take my favorite coffee, take my muffin. Even if you hate that for me, I know that, but I will do that because it keeps me busy. It keeps me happy.
Guys, keep those calories in check.
No, if it is making you happy, just have it.
All right, I have my last question for you today, and thank you so much for all those great answers. And here it goes. For a listener who's always beating themselves up, what's one simple experiment you would ask them to try this week?
So again, coming from my experience, imagine yourself that you're in a party, loud music going on. It's a DJ. You can be in a bar, in a club, in a wedding, or wherever. Just imagine your favorite song pops up. For example, the Dancing Queen. Loud music, Dancing Queen, and for that moment, every girl on the dance floor is going to be pointing each other, you are the Dancing Queen, and pointing themselves up. If let's say there is some heroic song somewhere, there's a hero and actresses, for that moment, you are that person. You are the Dancing Queen. You are the king of the world. You will point yourself or to your friend, whosoever you resonates the most. What I do is, when I wake up...
I love that song.
So, when I wake up, I play some good music that hypes me up. I know people say that mellow start of your day. It doesn't happen. Learn or find your soul song, because when I listen to that, at that very moment, I'm not Devanshi. I'm not a project manager. I'm not somebody who's going through something. I'm not somebody who has to fix some bugs in the solution or the product. At that point in time, I'm the Dancing Queen. I am in my own world where I'm loving myself. And I think that's what you gotta do. Listen to good music, and that's my experiment, because as I said, you deserve love. Stop expecting it from somebody else. Find your own song, find your own hype song. Just imagine if you're walking into a room, what is the background music you would want it to be played, So live that life. I know it's a small thing, but again, these small little habits are gonna enter into something you have never imagined. And I've done that. Even if I'm very sad, like, no, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And I listen to the music, especially listen to the songs which takes you back to the times you were happiest. I was the happiest in my teenage, and I listened to all those songs. I listened to all the entire playlist I used to listen when I was 15 or 16, and it would take me to the best time of my life, because the memories associated with those songs will automatically lift me. And that's the power of music that it has onto you. So exercise, just listen to music, but listen to the music which you used to listen when you were happy. So it is going to immediately take you to a good trip.
So being in the moment and make those moments full of those small wins and times when you were happy.
That is true.
Okay, that's a very good response. Well, thank you, Devanshi. That was all from my side for today's podcast. And so, guys, we'll get more guests on the podcast, hopefully, as the channel grows. But thank you for your attention today, and ciao. Bye-bye.